Okay, a very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is the 2nd of May, 2023. It's a Tuesday class. So we'll be continuing our sharing from this book, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta. We are on page 455. Let us now compose our mind, develop the faith, Saddha, Virya, and mindfully we shall commence the Puja chanting. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。นะโม佛菩萨อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวะพุทธังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสุขะโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนะมามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิDutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Panati Pata Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adina Dana Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Kamesu Miccācara Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Musawada Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Surameraya Majapamadatthana Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Padipa Puja Ganna sarapadittena dipena tamadang sina tiloka dipang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang ganda sambara yuttena dopena hang sugang hina pujaye pujaniyang tang Puja bajana muttamang Vanna Ganda Guno Petang Etang Kusuma Santatin Pujayami Munindasa Siri Pada Sarorohe Pujemi Bedang Kasumena Nena Punnena Matena Cha Hotu Mokhang Pupang Milayati Yata Idang Me Kayo Tata Yati Vinasa Bawang Adivase tu no bante Paniyang parika pitang Anu kampang upadaya Patigan hatu mutamang Adivase tu no bante Pale parika pitang Anu kampang upadaya Patigan hatu mutamang Adivase tu no bante Bojanang parika pitang Anu kampang upadaya Patigan hatu mutamang. Now we will chant our puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses off the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruition as soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of oral aspiration. By the power of all these merits, born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculties of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers. And finally, sharing and transfer of merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Buddhang Pujemi. Dhammang Pujemi. Sanghang Pujemi. Okay, just relax body and mind. Then maintain some more attention. Then we will off the light so that we can have our usual half an hour of awareness-based meditation. Okay. So this awareness-based meditation is very important. And you have to do with understanding. When you understand, it's relatively easy to develop it. But you don't understand, it can be quite difficult. So As far as most Kayamita is concerned, I think most of you all would have developed the understanding by now. So you just remember the four support, especially the first three for awareness-based meditation. Relaxation is most important, the first support. Relax completely, body and mind. Feel yourself completely relaxed. When you are relaxed means you are at ease, you got no issue, no problem. Everything is beautiful. So relax. When you are able to relax means your body and mind is completely free of stress, free of any tension or tightness or any attachment or craving or clinging. That is true relaxation. That's why relaxation can be done in various stages until finally when you are able to completely relax, means you can develop a free mind that is without stress, without tension, without even craving or anything, completely at ease. Be natural, relax. Then after that, the only thing you need to do is to maintain the awareness nature within. Always remember, without thought, you're already aware. So don't try to know, don't try to think, don't try to create any more thought activity. Just maintain awareness. Awareness means that nature which is just aware before the knowing. Like whatever arises within the six sense door, whether it's through the senses or the thought process, the memory, you just aware, finish. It can be from any of the sense bases, like hearing from the ear, or from seeing, the eye that see, or smell, or taste, or tactile, or even any other of the senses, like whatever that arises through memory, sankhara activity. Then when it arises, maintain awareness. Aware, finish. Don't try to know. If you need to perceive it, it's okay. But later on, that perception becomes pure perception, like aware. No need to know. Finish. Then the third support is to stabilize this awareness nature within. To stabilize means to let it continue, not to think, not to create any thought activity. Most people's problem is because most of the time throughout the day they are heedless. They think a lot. They have mental hindrance. They develop all this mental hindrance through habitual tendency due to their inability to stabilize their five spiritual faculties to counter the five mental hindrance. When your spiritual faculties are there, Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya, when they are there, the mental hindrance is to be, then their mind is always in the meditative state, in Sati, is just aware. That is what awareness-based meditation is all about. When it's aware, the stability of awareness is there, then it becomes Samadhi. The mind is like unwavering, collected, fully aware. So the third support, stabilizing this awareness within, is very important. Just allow the mind to be it throughout the daily life. If you have not developed the stability of the spiritual faculty, then this activity of thinking or habitual tendency, stirring of mind reaction, they will continue to arise when you try to meditate, when you try to develop what they call the formal meditative training. So when you understand all this, you don't worry. Even before your 5 spiritual faculty become very stable and thought activity can still arise, just let it arise. It will come to pass. Then because you can maintain awareness, you don't feed the thinking mind anymore, thought energy. You don't try to know, you don't try to do, you don't try to create any activity. Means no curiosity, no craving, nothing. Just let things be, aware, finish. If you can do that, then the mind will settle down. Whatever thought activity that has been moving, they will start to slow down, slow down, slow down. And it's just like the meditative way, the third way. When you stay with the awareness, all activity, they will start to dissipate their energy and become very quiet and very still. When thought activity stop, when sankhara activity stop, what happened? Find out for yourself. Without thought, who are you? And what is the awareness nature? You have to realize it. And for those who have gone through, they will know, because that nature and the thinking mind, they are very near. Without awareness and stability of it, the thought arises very fast through habitual tendency and also through the reaction of mind and the stirring of the mundane mind. So with this understanding, I will let you meditate on your own. Then for those who already stabilized the first 3 support, you can go for the 4th support, trust. Trust your nature to develop the meditation movement without any interference from the thought process, from the memory, from your whatever sankhara activity. So that trust, you just relax, maintain awareness, and stay at the heart area. And let that nature detect whatever that arises. Initially, it's only whatever vibration within the heart area, or your heartbeat, which is very prominent. So what you need to do is you need to stabilize that awareness until it becomes more stable, more refined. Is you stay with the heartbeat or the vibration that you detect. Be with it. The third way, meditative way. Allow that nature to do whatever it is. Then it will like slow down. The pulse of life, the vibration or the heartbeat, it will slowly slow down. Then you can actually be aware of the sudden quiet moment within. We call it the shift of consciousness. All of a sudden, your consciousness like become very quiet, very still. Yeah. Initially, if you are aware, it's full of noise, full of sankhara activity, a lot of movement activity. But when that shift comes, when the mundane mind settle down and become very quiet and very still, you will realize the true mind. Then stabilize it and allow it to move on its own. Don't try to do anything. Don't try to direct the mind through the thought and all those things. You can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner mindfulness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the mind state you need to use to develop the daily mindfulness and to stabilize the daily mindfulness so that you can be ever mindful, constantly meditative, or heedful, or living life, or in the midst of life. Because according to Lord Buddha, Dhammapada verse 21, heedfulness is the path to the deathless. The heedful never die. Whereas if you are not able to be heedful, you become heedless. And heedlessness is the path to the dead. That is the most dangerous attitude to take. And the heedless are as if dead spiritually. Means, as far as the spiritual cultivation is concerned, you are as if dead. The door is closed. That's why without heedfulness, it's very, very difficult, or near to impossible to awaken. So that shows the importance of heedfulness. To be heedful, you have to be ever mindful, constantly meditative. And to be ever mindful, you need to stabilize your mindfulness until it is throughout the day. Most of the time, you are just aware and mindful within. Okay, so with that, we turn to page 6 of the chanting book. We will chant the invocation to the Devas. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalisu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakkamokadang Dhammasvanan Kalo Ayang Padanta Dhammasvanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhammasvanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti peso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijacarana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarti Satta Deva Manosanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipaseko Opanayiko Pacyatang Veditabo Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Nyaya Patipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Samici Patipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yadidang Cattari Purisa Yogani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho ahuneyo pahuneyo dakineyo anjali karaneyo anuttarang punyang ketang lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, you all can be seated, and we shall continue from where we stopped. But before that, I would like to take this opportunity to maybe wish all Kayamitas early Wesak, wishing all Kayamita a very happy and peaceful and auspicious coming Wesak. So today is the 2nd May, tomorrow is 3rd, then 4th is Wesak. So this year's Wesak, just for the information of Kayamitas, Brother Jayanta has actually invited me and all Kayamitas to Malacca Aloka Buddhist Center ABC to give some Dhamma sharing. They have actually come out with a program, a simple 2-day program, which I will send out by tomorrow. But roughly the program is, because we have to drive up from PJ to Malacca. Actually tomorrow, 3rd, I'm supposed to go down, but because I had a dinner, so I decided to go down tomorrow on the 4th morning. So 4th morning, Chin Hao and some Kayamita will join me, and we are going down. And Chin Hao is very kind to offer to fetch us down. Then we will be going to Malacca. And the schedule is we're supposed to reach Malacca about maybe 10 something hours. Then we make our arrangement there for breakfast or maybe lunch. But before that, they actually had this vegetarian lunch at ABC, open to public. So I told Dr. J, maybe we leave that as optional. We see how it goes. Then we will plan our whatever. But they have scheduled a talk, a Dhamma talk, at about 2 p.m. In the afternoon. So they have given me the titles to choose, but I suggested some other more appropriate title because it's Wesak Day. So I suggested to Dr. J significance of Wesak plus why Buddhism, where according to him the first session is mainly Buddhism for beginners, those that may not have that deep understanding of the teaching. Then after that, we supposed to check out from ABC to check in to our homestay at about 4:30. Then we will have our wash up and whatever. Then maybe dinner at about 6 o'clock somewhere nearby. Then 8 o'clock they have scheduled a Dhamma talk. This one is supposed to go live using the Zoom. So Kayamita who can log in, you can look out for the link. The link, Sui may send out the link. Then afternoon session, they don't know whether they can do it or not because the internet there is not that fast. So they will try out and see. If you happen to have the link and you try to log in, you can log in well and good. 2 o'clock they will also try, but officially they hope to do it at 8 o'clock. Then after that we're supposed to have some I think Q&A after the talk. Then of course they also schedule, it may end at 10 o'clock. Then we supposed to go for supper, and during supper the usual fellowship, where we had some Dhamma topic or discussion or question and answer and all those things. Then the next day is supposed to be free and easy breakfast on our own. Then we only have to be there at 12 midday. They call it the Mother's Day special potluck with Mrs Teoh. So I also don't know what it is, but I think it must be a fellowship or potluck. Anyway, my nature rejoices. So looking forward to all this. Then we're supposed to end at 4 o'clock. So all Kalyamitras are invited. If you happen to be there or you want to go down, you can either contact Brother Hsuan or Dr. Jayanta, but Dr. Jayanta is very busy. You better contact Brother Hsuan. Then the address, I will also send out ABC's address. So that's about all. Okay, with that, I will continue with our today's sharing. Okay. Arrogant, they brag of their loftiness. So this one is a sutta part. So宣化has his commentary.宣化said, they are haughty and self-satisfied. They are always up on a, he used the word soapbox, praising themselves. It's like they ask, have you seen me? Me. You cannot compare with me. Anything you can do, I can do better. So that was Xuanhua's commentary. That is to hold oneself in high esteem, to put oneself up on a pedestal. This is like a certain person who came here and said that he was extremely high-minded. This is just bragging of one's own loftiness. What is the point of doing that anyway? If your heart is filled with pride, you are turning your back on the way. So this statement is very good. If you are not mindful, not aware, you cannot check all this, then you cannot see that you have all this pride in you, because the atta, the ego, is still there. So Xuanhua says, if your heart is filled with pride, you are turning your back on the way, because the cultivation of the Buddha Dharma is to realize the non-self anatta nature within. So to have pride is to strengthen the ego, to feel like very, very important. So this is how cultivator of the way should develop mindfulness, to be aware of whatever mind state that are within your mundane mind. If you do not have the Dhamma, the wisdom and the understanding, then you tend to cling, grasp and hold on to the ego, and you manifest what they call the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion. That's why if your heart is filled with pride or any of the emotion or negative tendency, then you are not cultivating, means turning your back on the way. And student of the way should be respectful of others. This one actually comes naturally. your respect for others, for the wise one, for your teacher, your parents, people who are worthy of respect, they actually come naturally. Because once you have the Dhamma, you develop humility. You become very different. You become very humble, very simple. Yeah. You no longer carry yourself like trying to impress or become arrogant or knowledgeable and all those things. No, they will not be able to have those type of attitude or tendency. Then, according to Master Hsuan, not only they should be respectful of others, at all times they should cultivate an attitude of humility. This is actually very natural. Like I said, no need to cultivate one. You don't have humility means you don't have. You cannot practice humility. Practice to have humility. No. Humility is to be developed through an understanding. When you understand, you penetrate the universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta, then you realize this non-self nature within. And with that, the ego, like to you, is very clear, is false. It's an illusion. The ego is an illusionary entity that living being through delusion grabs, cling, and hold. And because of that, they get themselves entangled. So like I said, once you have all this understanding, humility is very natural because of the Dhamma understanding. There's a cultivator of the way who have developed the cultivation correctly and appropriately. They will have humility, they will have respect, they will have love, compassion, kindness, goodness. Even generosity is a natural outcome because their nature is already so different. Okay, so now we read on. The next part of the sutta says, they are flatterers, their hearts insincere. So according to Hsuan, the commentary, he asked, what is flattery? Oh, this English word I also don't understand. It's been a sinful. Never mind. Anyway, it's like flattery. When they see the governor coming, they open the car door for him, pour his tea, and light his cigarette. They simply cannot do enough for him. They are not even that respectful towards the Buddha. When they see a high-ranking official coming, they invariably find a way to rub eyebrow with him. Means they want to get to know the wealthy, the rich, and the powerful. So Hsuan said, they are not sincere. They are not straightforward. For example, basically, they may be out to borrow money, or a better word is to get favor from him. Because they know he has got it. But they do not come out directly and say, I would like to borrow some money from you. What do they say? Today I need a little money. I think I will go ask so and so if I can borrow it from him. They say this hoping that you will volunteer to help them out. Their tactics are round about, crooked, and devious. So this is Hsuan's commentary. Then we go on to the next part of the sutta. Throughout 10 billion aeons, they do not hear the Buddha's name, nor do they hear the proper Dhamma. Make note of this sentence, the sutta. Throughout 10 billion aeons, world cycle. they do not hear the Buddha's name, nor do they hear the proper Dhamma. See? When your karmic is very negative, it will obstruct you and you will be born in places where for a long period you not only don't hear of Buddha's name, you don't even have a chance to listen to the proper Dhamma, the teachings. So we go to the commentaries. Hsuan said they do not hear the Buddha's name and they do not have a chance, see, not even a chance to listen to sutra. Why not? Because they lack good roots. Those of you who are able to listen to lectures on the sutra all have good roots. People without good roots might come and sit for a minute, but they would soon feel like they were sitting on nails. Ouch! They would hurry and get out, or get up and run away. Why? It's because they don't have good roots. And they cannot sit for even a second before running off. So this one is more towards, like I always explain to you, karmic obstruction. When you, through ignorance in the distant past, do a lot of karmic negativity, especially actions or speech that violates the learning of the teachings, or you abuse the teaching, the Buddha Dharma. If you do all those things, then the karmic obstruction will come. It will obstruct you from receiving it. Then it will create karmic negativity for all this to happen. Then we continue. Here in San Francisco, this is a place where Hsuan was giving his Dhamma sharing. We lecture the sutta every evening. I ask you, are those who do not come here to listen to the Buddha Dhamma in the majority, or are those who do come in the majority? This question is like the one the Buddha asked his disciple. He picked up a handful of earth and said, "Take a look. Is there more dust in my hand, or is there more on the ground?" So the disciple answered, saying, "Naturally there is more dirt on the ground and less in the dust of one's hand." The Buddha said, "Those who obtain a human body are like the dirt in my hand. Those who lose the body of a human being are like the dirt on the earth." That's why we have the famous saying, 人生难得. Means to be born as a living being, or a human being in this case, is very, very rare. The chance is very, very, very rare. Like 1 in don't know how many billions. Then Hsuan continue. Those who lose their human body and are unable to return in their next life as a human being are as many as the vast amount of dirt on the earth. Instead of being reborn in a human body, they fall instead into the 3 evil paths, or the 3 evil destiny, and become ghosts or animals. There are some who take birth in the hell realms. Now I can make an apology to those who come to listen to the sutra lectures are like the dirt in my hand. Those who do not come to listen to the sutra are like dirt on the earth. See how rare they are. Those who come and hear the sutta are like gold. They all have good roots. Those who do not come are like dirt. They all have a very rare opportunity to even listen to the Dhamma. In all of America, you will not find another Buddha hall where the sutras are lectured every night. They may lecture once a week. But here we lecture every single night. This is really inconceivable. In the future, you are all destined to become the pioneers of American Buddhism. So this is the prediction of Master Shenron. Actually, what he said about the birth as a human being is very true, because the Buddha gave an analogy actually. He said, to know what is your chance like or probability like to be born a human being, he said, take for example a turtle, is it? And somehow it must be a blind turtle. Then you have a turtle egg. The turtle egg is slightly bigger than the turtle's head. But turtle's head, when it come out, is very small. So he said, assume you have a turtle egg. You break one end of the surface, then you throw it into the ocean and let it float. Then he said the probability of this blind turtle arising every 100 years once. When he arises, the turtle arises, the head of the turtle match and goes through the turtle egg. That is the probability. I tell you, it's almost near to zero. But then human beings, they won't believe it. They say, what is so difficult to be born a human? We get married, we can actually give birth to a lot of human beings. But do you know, in this universe, the other beings in the other planes of existence, they are a lot more. Actually, the number of humans on our planet, you may think is a lot, 7 to 8 billions. But the truth is, the numbers that are non-humans is way, way beyond. And this is just a planet. And to have planets, to have human beings are very rare actually, very rare. So if you can understand that, then you will come to understand why the analogy is such. Like I always said, for Kayamitas, especially those who are quite serious, have the faith and the affinity and the understanding, you all have your parami. Otherwise, there is no way you can be born a human being during the Buddha Sasana, and at the same time, this birth you can come into contact with the proper teaching, the true Buddha Dharma, and learn it. These are parami from the past. That's why all this point towards your uniqueness. That's why have faith, strive on with heedfulness. Determine strongly to plant the seed of bodhi. Then tell yourself, you determine to have that faith, to sincerely walk this path diligently. So you only need 3 things. Faith, sincerity, and perseverance. The Dhamma will unfold in front of you. You will definitely be successful in your cultivation. You will realize whatever you sincerely, through your affirmation, determination to realize, even to take the Bodhisattva way, to finally fulfill your aim to be a Sammasambuddha. All these are possible. So do make use of this window and opportunity to do it. Especially now, we are 2 more days from Wesak. So on Wesak day, make the aspiration. Wake up early, prepare yourself, then develop the daily religious routine more meaningfully. Means on Wesak day, you have an altar, light up your altar, develop the faith and all those things. Then do your duty, develop your cultivation, devote your entire day towards listening to Dhamma, sharing Dhamma, or cultivation. And at the same time, you can be a blessing to all. So this virtue, when you develop it, you accumulate it, it can be your future, what they call spiritual wealth, that can actually become very significant. Cultivator of the way must develop the faith. So, as I have mentioned earlier on, this year Wesak I won't be in PJ because just now Eric, I think Eric he texted me, Mrs Teoh, Wesak, normally which temple you go? So I said, this year is different because Dr. Jayanta invited me to Malacca to give Dhamma talk and Dhamma sharing at Aloka Buddhist Center. So I say I will be in Malacca, I won't be in PJ. So most of the time, if there is condition when I'm in PJ, Kayamita will come and see me, or they will make appointment to meet up with me there. We tend to travel around or move around the temple. Last time I used to go to Brickfield first because that is the temple that I went to when I came down to PJ when I was at the university studying engineering. So that place I will go first. Then normally we will meet quite a lot of Dhamma friends there. Then they got their what they call food stalls and all those things where you can have your food, do dana, donation, offering, and you can buy whatever things to help them. Then you can buy flowers to offer, candles to light. Then you can pay respect to Triple Gem, and you can make your offering within the temple too. Then there will be chanting, there will be official activity. There is an occasion for joy for fellow Buddhists or devout Buddhists who actually understand the significance of Wesak and how to relate it to who the Buddha is, how unique a being he is, his cultivation, his perfection, and is the tri-sacred occasion. It marks the tri-sacred occasion of the Buddha, his birth, his enlightenment, and his parinibbana. All those are very important moments for us to reflect, to contemplate, and to develop the faith and the understanding, then strive on with heedfulness to cultivate and develop all this. So this is what Wesak is all about. Then not only on Wesak Day, as a cultivator of the way, we must have the triple gem with us. We must have this mind that is always heedful, mindful, to develop the understanding and the cultivation of the Buddha Dhamma. According to the Buddha, there are 3 phases of Dhamma that cultivator of the way have to go through. First is pariyatti, the learning or the teaching. Nowadays you can learn through more ways. In the past, you can only listen to the sutta as proclaimed by the Buddha or repeated by Ananda and later on his enlightened disciples. Now you can read it up, you can Google, you can internet, you can record and listen. So now it's a lot easier. Then we have the education and other things, the platform, to actually hold Dhamma discussion, Dhamma session, Dhamma sharing, and many other things like our spiritual activity that our Kamitas has. So pariyatti has become easier, especially with the technological development that can help us. Then after that, you have to put this teaching into practice which is the second phase of Dhamma. The Buddha called it Patipati. When you put what you have learned and develop as understanding, initially it's maybe at the knowledge, philosophical level. Then you move it on to the second turning where you contemplate into it, reflect into it, then inquire deep into it to stabilize it. So that is part of Patipati already, actually cultivating it. So first turning, second turning, they are cultivation of the Buddha Dhamma. Then you have the third turning, which gives rise to the three types of corresponding wisdom. First turning gives rise to Sutta Maya Panya, wisdom born of listening to the Sutta or learning of the teaching. Then second one is when you start to reflect, contemplate and inquire deep into those teachings, especially the Four Noble Truths when it's three turnings. Then you develop what they call Chintamaya Panya, wisdom born of constant contemplation, reflection and inquiry into the essential Dhamma that the Buddha has taught us. Then after that, the third turning is Bhavanamaya Panya, wisdom born of the meditative training, where you do your formal meditation, your daily mindfulness meditation. And that one is all on mindfulness, awareness, no more thought-based cultivation or teaching. So when you develop this, you are doing the second phase of Dhamma called Patipati. Then when you have developed the stability of it until you awaken, you will get to live the third phase of Dhamma, which is Pativeda, the phase where you reap the fruit of your hard work. You get to live the life of an enlightened being. And that is the most beautiful part of your life. So you can achieve that. My nature sadhu you, rejoice with you. So basically, this is what you will come to know. Then later on, apart from Brickfield, nowadays there are a lot of Buddhist centers. You can even visit the Mahayana temple. The Mahayana temple, they got quite a number for Kwangshan. They also have what they call Fakusan or Tsuji. Then they also have, I think, Nalanda and the Sentu there. They also have, there's a Sri Lanka temple there, Sentu temple. Then normally you can visit quite a number of Buddhist centers. The other one is BGF, I think, BGF. Then they got a lot of other smaller centers. But the one that have major activity on, maybe you need to get into contact with them and get to know, then you can actually make it a point to visit them. Sometimes you can go with a few kilometers, you can gather them. Otherwise, you can look out for friends who are willing to go with you. I remember during the early days, Wesak is an occasion where I determined and I developed a lot of activity in the early days. Then later on, after I have learned the Dhamma, I have understood the thing after 1989. What I did was, I tend to help people who are interested, especially later years when I came out to share. They will come and look for me. Then we will wake up early, then have our own activity, puja. Then we will start visiting all the temples, develop mindfulness, awareness, Dhamma sharing. Then of course, we develop a lot of wholesomeness. There is an occasion for wholesome activity on that day. You not only compose your mind, develop the faith, recall to mind the tri-sacred occasion of the Buddha. At the same time, you also do all the 10 meritorious action. Then you also sometimes can help out. A lot of Kayamita, they help out at all the various Buddhist centers. Then you can help out in many ways. Some attend to food store, some attend to bookstore, some attend to Sunday school selling flowers and all those things. Then some they help to do other duties that are required. Then some they help out in their respective Buddhist society that they have actually signed out as maybe committee members or members. So all these are the activity that you can get involved in. But on that day is very good an occasion to develop the joy, the peace, the love, the compassion, the humility, the tranquility of mind, the stillness of mind, the understanding. And it's a good occasion to constantly reflect, contemplate, and observe how people go about celebrating Wesak and other things. Then check yourself. What are you doing? Are you mindful? Are you heedful? Are you cultivating? So all these are activities that we can develop as cultivators of the way. Of course, when we call ourselves Buddhists, means to be worthy of that name, Buddhist devotee, we have to actually follow the advice of the Buddha. That is the minimum, basic, essential requirement. Follow the advice of the Buddha via his famous Dhammapada verse 183. Sabba papasa akaranang kusalesa upasampadan sachitta pariyotapanang etang buddhana sasana. So the meaning is sabba papasa, all evil you have to avoid. Then whatever wholesomeness, kusalesa upasampadan, you must develop them, cultivate them. Then finally, of course, sachitta pariyotapanang. You have to purify your mind, meditate to develop the wisdom to free. The first two advice is to help take care of karma, avoid evil, develop wholesomeness, so that your life is more conducive, so that you will have all these merits, blessings to protect you and to provide you with a good condition and good life. But to live life, to transcend suffering, to develop wisdom, you have to purify your mind, you have to meditate, you have to straighten your view, develop the understanding. Otherwise, life can be miserable. You can still be afflicted despite whatever materialistic success you may have, academic success, or human society's so-called success. Without the spiritual understanding, the wisdom born of understanding the teachings, the Four Noble Truths and its three turning, the essence of the Buddha's teaching, there is no way you can understand life and live life. You will be entangled, you will suffer, you will be afflicted. So learning this teaching, cultivating it, developing the wisdom is very important. So this is just an added one. Okay, we continue. We have to end somewhere already. Okay, I continue a bit more. Shenhua continue with the sutta part. Such people are difficult to save. The commentary say people like these who are arrogant and all those things, who have pride. People without good roots are especially hard to take across. In San Francisco, with its population of several hundred of thousands of people, only these 20 or so are really determined to listen to the sutta, means those who attended his Dhamma session or Sutra session. So Shenhua says, rare indeed, those without good roots are hard to save. You can teach them the clear, correct principles of the Buddha Dharma. They will listen and know that you are correct, but they will still oppose you. Would you say this was strange or not? Why does this happen? It happens because they don't have good roots. If they have good roots, they would listen to the Buddha Dharma and put it into practice. If they don't have good roots, you know what they will do. They will argue with you. They will perceive it with negativity. I read on. Then Shen was in China, at Gold Mountain, there was one they called the Living Buddha. He listened to the sutta, and no matter which Dhamma master was lecturing, he would kneel and place his palm together, reverently listening to every word. Would you say he was sincere or not? They call him the Living Buddha because one time he jumped off the top of Gold Pagoda, and when he hit bottom, nothing happened to him. He did not die. He was able to cure people's illness too. He used paramita soup as medicine. Paramita soup was what he called the water he had just washed his leg in. He would add some fragrant ashes or some sawdust to it and give it to the sick person to drink. Once a sick person drank it, he would be cured. So this is what Hsuan shared. In the West, it's extremely rare to be able to attend a Dhamma assembly, which is true, the Western society at that time, such as the one that Hsuan was having. Today, I spoke with my disciple about how important it is to lecture on the sutta. In the future, in the Dhamma ending age, the Buddhist sutta will disappear. The paper will remain, but the words will just fade away, and you will not be able to read them. The first sutta to disappear will be the Surangama suttas, Leng Yan Jing. That is why in coming to the West to spread the Dhamma, Hsuan said he first lectured the Surangama sutta, the sutta for wisdom development. If you look into the doctrine discussed in the sutta, you will find that they are truly much more wonderful than any theory propounded by modern day science or philosophy, as the doctrine in that sutta are ultimate. In fact, Surangama Sutta is a very good sutta. The teaching is very beautiful, very profound. Then Hsuan continued. Now that I have finished lecturing the Surangama Sutta, I am lecturing the Dhamma Flower Sutta. This is the 妙法蓮華經. When I have finished lecturing it, I intend to lecture Avatamsaka Sutta for you. This is even more beautiful. The Dhamma Flower Sutta is called the King of Sutta, but the Avatamsaka Sutta is really the King of Sutta. The Avatamsaka is like a golden wheel turning sage king, and the Dhamma flower is like the silver wheel turning sage king. The Surangama Sutta is like a copper wheel turning sage king. They are the three kings among the suttas. Where did the Avatamsaka Sutta come from? After the Buddha realized Buddhahood, the first thing he did was to speak this sutta. When he spoke it, those of the two vehicles could not hear him. They could not even see him, it was said. They had eyes but could not see the Nishanya Buddha. They had ears but could not hear the perfect southern teaching. The Buddha manifested a 10,000 feet high body to speak the sutta, and although they had eyes, they could not see it. This is Hsuan's commentary. They had ear, but they could not hear the perfect southern teaching. Those of the two vehicles could not understand it, and only the great vehicle or supreme vehicle Bodhisattva were clear about it. Later on, it was taken by the Dragon King to the dragon palace. And it disappeared from the human rhyme. Later, the 14th patriarch, Nagarjuna, Long Su Pusa, dragon tree bodhisattva, who had mastered all the worldly literature, used his spiritual penetration to go down to the dragon palace to take a look at the Tipitaka. There he found the 3rd volume sect, the great Avatamsaka Sutta. The first volume contained chapters in number equal to dust mote in 10 great Trigelos cosmos. The second volume was 1200 chapters and 498,800 verses. The third volume contained 48 chapters and 100,000 verses. The standard Chinese edition, translated during the Tang dynasty by Tipitaka master Shishananda, contained 39 chapters. Since he had no way to remember all of it, he only memorized the last volume. When he came back, he wrote it out. He read it once and remembered it perfectly. His memory was extremely good. That is where the Avatamsaka Sutta came from. So when he had finished the Dhamma Flower Sutta, we shall hear the great Avatamsaka Sutta. Having heard the 3 kings of Sutta and understood them, you will then be able to understand all the other Sutta on your own without having them explained to you. Here in the West, the Buddha Dharma had just begun to flourish. It is fitting that the great vehicle Dhamma be propagated in order to teach and transform the great vehicle Bodhisattva. Do not see yourself as insignificant. This one is very important. Don't look down upon your own nature. You are all one who in the past make vow agreeing to come to America with me to help me propagate Buddha Dhamma. So this one Shenhua tell his disciple. That is why I have now met with you, extremely intelligent Westerner, who come here every day to study the Buddha Dhamma. This is because of a far-reaching affinity, a cause which goes way back, and which was planted long, long ago. I am telling you the truth. You should not believe it. So this is Shenhua telling the disciples in the state at that time. Okay, we end here. Okay, we are at page 458. So now we will go on to the second session.
谢谢不金，你nominate我。还有说什么呢？
讲文书实力啦，你做嘅 notes 嘛。
最近我在找文殊师利菩萨的化身然后谈到他4个法师和尚，他很多我不会讲。你们去Google比较好看，很有趣，而他的达玛很深。
是的。
他是 direct 的达玛。总而言之，他讲的都是讲心，然后他说心要清净，就是
silent mind，
然后看了最后还是 basic，basic 呢就是你的 awareness 回去你的心，然后你从那边你找到你的自信，你的本来的面目，然后从那边开始，然后从那边走修行，一直修行到圆满。其实很简单的，就是说其实很简单，你只是不要 整天去烦恼啊，去怎样妄想，太多妄想。其实世间太多妄想，是因为我们执着，我们没有 awareness 嘛，所以我们去抓。等到你看到了，你明白了你是什么，你就明白，哎呀，我们也是 part of nature，然后你就把你以前所有的习气啊，还有你的妄想啊、烦恼啊，其实都是我们执着，全部都是我执，烦恼执这些，然后你有了 awareness， 然后你就有真知真见，你有真知真见，你就转，然后你就会转了之后，然后你只在你的真心，你就会了解了，你就不会被抓，你会如如不动，一直做到，不是做啦，修啦，修行，一直有智慧，越来越有定力，一直走。做你原本你来到你这一世，你是什么角色，就好像演戏一样，你是什么角色你就做，把你的使命和你的任务做好来，根据法达玛位去做，圆满，就是这样子修。一切你都不用去想要这个想要那个，它会自然而然的会怎么样很自然了，我也不会讲，就很自然，一层就好像你从小学到自然会叫中学了叫大学、博士，然后到无边境、无尽的，全部都是无尽的。你不只是中道，你不要有执着，也不要执着空，你就是在真空妙有这样子怎么样 live life 生活，一直这样子做，直到你圆满为止。不懂这是我的想法，其实很深奥，只是你要觉悟你的本来的面目罢了。真的什么都没有哦，真的，你其实是 part of nature， 你只是要 wisdom， 不要被这个世间法抓，不要被他们抓，你就解脱，一直解脱，wisdom 一直起，然后你就是解脱了，你自由自在。萨度，这是我的想法，不是想法，是我所怎么样理解的思维中看所一天天做的觉悟，懂了。你总而言之，它这一点点你就讲，其实我们跟其他的动物都是一样的，其实就是 part of 众生从没有呢就生出来，因为无明了，就这样子一直 accumulate，到我们现在成人，所以现在你就要回去本来的面目 ，go back to the source，就解脱了，不容易，但是只有唯一的one way 的 only way 才能真正解脱，否则呢，你就永远的在这个六道轮回一直转，只有这个正道，这个佛陀的佛法才能够真正解脱。萨度。
Okay, let us rejoice with a good sharing. Huh? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I think for the benefit of those who may not know Mandarin, PG, can you understand? Cannot. Okay, I will explain a bit because recently I have been observing my wife writing a lot of things, like deep in thought in writing a lot of Mandarin word which I don't understand. Then I ask her, "What are you doing?" Oh, she say, "I'm going through the Manjusri Bodhisattva, Vensu Pusa, the foremost in wisdom one." He say he wants to learn about the Dhamma teaching of Vensu, how she developed the understanding, the cultivation, the perfection, and how all this teaching of Vensu can be so profound and yet so simple, so direct. So that's why when she started, she said she don't know where to start. But he said it's actually, according to Vensu, it's very simple. First, he said, you just silence your mind. Then develop the understanding through that silent mind. Like what we teach you, awareness-based meditation, develop awareness to see clearly. Then realize your true nature. Your true nature is very important. The silent mind will lead you to have the ability to realize your true mind when it's stabilized. Once you penetrate that, then your direct seeing, your observation, your understanding, everything will become very clear to you. Then you start to see the illusion. They call it the illusionary world, the unreality of the form and mind, the consciousness. Then from there, you continue to penetrate until, of course, she also mentioned what I used to share with you all, that you come with the form and mind to do your duty only. Like the Buddha also mentioned, of right duty is the enlightened disciple of the Buddha. So you do your duty through the understanding, then you learn to live life. But the part where I explained that the form and mind is just a vehicle and a tool, I don't know whether it's there or not, because she did mention it. So those who have the awakening and the understanding, their teaching is the same. They evolve around the same understanding. Silence your mind to realize your true mind, your true nature. Then from there, you develop the cultivation, the understanding. Then you awaken. So basically, she is Chinese educated, Mandarin educated, and she finds the Mandarin words very profound and meaning very deep. And she also has been reading up and listening to a lot of my sharing. That's why it enabled her to understand all this very fast, very quickly. So all this are possible when you have the faith, when you determine. That's why for her, she do it her own way. She do her duty, then she continue with her cultivation, following her own way, which can be different. That's why no problem. Where she Mandarin educated, and she read the Mandarin, it stand up clearer. And even Alicia also same, they are Chinese school, they like that type of. The Mandarin word actually can describe the teaching very beautifully, very beautifully. I think our Kayamita, a lot are Chinese educated, even Brother Song, they are, Jin Hao, they are, except maybe PG. Sis Poh Lian also no Mandarin. PG. Han, you know Mandarin or not? A bit. My daughter like me. But she better her Mandarin. She go Singapore, she learn more. And she get the right pronunciation. She know how to Google for the word. I had to look for my wife. So all this depend on your purpose, your destiny. You come to do what? So a lot of this, they call it the cultivation of the Buddha Dhamma, depend on your past karmic conditioning and also the way you actually evolve to become what you are. So everyone is different. But destiny is such, you need affinity to come into contact with the teaching. And when you come into contact with the teaching, how you develop it, how you understand it, how you cultivate and perfect it, is all different. Everyone is different. So hopefully with this, it can give you better understanding and faith. You don't have to like listen and try to follow what people do. No need. Evolve your own understanding. Cultivate based on what you have from your past. Then evolve it, develop it. Because everyone is different. Okay? So hopefully, with all this sharing, there will be more Kayamita who will have that, what they call understanding and confidence to cultivate sincerely, with faith, diligently, then continue to speak out and share, so that it can give rise to faith to other Kayamitas, especially when they see other Kayamita developing the progress, the understanding. This one really actually give rise to a lot of very strong faith. Okay, with that maybe I will stop the translation, because just now what she actually shared was quite profound and quite deep. So with the outline that I given you, I think more or less you understand.
Good evening, Brother Teoh.
Good evening,
Mrs Teoh, and fellow Kayamitas.
Yeah, sadhu.
Thank you for the opportunity to
to
speak out.
To speak out, to do the sharing.
What I feel like saying is, actually today I was very busy at work.
Oh, no wonder.
Actually the past few months.
Yeah.
So somehow today Sister Poh Lian asked me how I am.
Wow, sadhu, yeah.
I said I was very busy. Then he said, oh good, you're doing your duty.
Sadhu.
The family. Then my reply to her was, okay lah, I'm just surviving. But I bang wall a lot lah.
Yeah.
In like Hokkien, pa ling tao.
Yeah.
Then she also laughed. She said, but she replied to me, and she guided me in a way. She said,
sadhu. Yeah, she is very good at that, yeah.
Say, Kok Loon, you need to silence your mind.
Yeah, sadhu. Well, that is a very good advice.
So that you can be mindful.
Yeah.
And not to be once you're mindful, then you're aware, you can actually be clear.
Yeah, there is clarity.
Clear.
Then you can understand what actually happened.
Yes.
Then from there, you ask yourself, how can I resolve this amicably, and how can I move from here? That's how the Dhamma is to be developed through understanding. Then you will know how to act. Then you will not become angry, emotional, fearful, worry. No more. Where all those are deluded thinking. And they call it the illusionary Dhamma, or the illusionary activity of the mundane mind.
And then the second thing which Sister Poh Lian shared was, Kok Loon, share metta to yourself.
Sadhu, yeah, that was very important.
I woke up and was, wow, I need to have
more love.
Metta my own self,
to
not to be so hard to myself every day, whack myself. I'm not good enough,
Yeah, sadhu.
So I was very happy actually. After that,
yeah, a lot of joy, huh?
yeah, this is, and then she said, okay, do in the morning when you wake up and before at night.
That one
spend
very
some
useful.
time to have this space.
Yeah.
And connect to the self.
Yeah, to the inner nature.
So actually, that is actually what I needed to hear, and I think this is exactly what.
Yeah, Mrs Teoh sharing. Yeah, sadhu.
Yeah,
very
so
good.
I would like to express my gratitude.
Yeah,
Thank
sadhu,
you
sadhu.
very much to all fellow Kayamittas.
Yeah, sadhu.
I think this is a very good support, and actually one of the reasons that I am also keep me progressing slowly step by step, inch by inch.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
No problem,
and
sadhu.
I also appreciate.
Also today, I think it was such a coincidence. We met your wife, at the cafe.
Oh yeah, she said,
She's actually was peeping through the glass door. Then, according to her, she saw me, but I saw a face that is familiar. I cannot recall that instant who she is until she approached us, then called me Brother Teoh. Then my daughter was also there. Then after that, he said, Kok Loon will be surprised. And then we know it's your wife. Sadhu. And she really full of joy. Very happy. He was with her colleague, I think. He said she was somewhere near uptown there, buying things on grocery. Then they happened to that cafe. They like to take away. He said, where's the cafe? The black coffee, 5 ringgit only. Oh, value for money.
Cheap and good.
Very good. They got a few types. They even tell you which type of beans from where. Then they got different type of flavor. That cafe was very beautiful. Half a shop, but very very well run. And the staff were good. They very patient to explain to you and talk to customer, and really give you the best. That's why it was recommended by Sui and Ben. They saw, then they said, Daddy, we go one of these days. So this morning after gym, they came back. Then I said, okay, 11:30 we go. So we went to Starling Mall. Then we came out and looked for the shop where we had our nasi lemak, tangling nasi lemak. Then your wife said that one not so good. There's another one down there, the cafe there. What is the name already? No. Everyday one.
Say Yes Cafe.
Say Yes Cafe. Say Yes Cafe. He said that nasi lemak better. So we thank her. We said we will go and try one of these days. So it's like meant to be, That's why after that, Sui say we must take a photo. So your wife joined us. That's why after that meant to be. She sent to me. Then I sent to my committee. I say what a small world. So we met her there. So that's why that is also could be the reason why you come today. Yeah. Also because of Puja. Sadhu. Very good. So let us rejoice. Sadhu.
Yeah, good evening, Kayamittas, Brother Teoh, Mrs Teoh. Maybe I continue a bit on India trip.
Very good.
The whole trip, Brother Teoh, when we arrived this Bugaya, the first time I stepped into the temple, the leader found us a place to meditate. So I sat down, and then what happened was the first and second breath very immediate.
Wow, sadhu.
I told myself, oh bingo, this is what Brother Teoh said. Breathe in, aware.
Yeah,
breathe out,
aware. Really happened.
I know it's exactly like that.
Sadhu.
But I meditate many times, then later, bo liao lah.
It's
only
that's why the thought, once it come in, gone.
But this one,
you must have faith, like what song they all did. Must have faith. Then you just go in without expecting anything. It will come on. When you already had the experience, then you want to recall the experience and want it repeated, gone already. Yeah, that is what thought-based meditation is all about. You continue, yeah.
So this, later part, I just reflect and know that for that 1 hour, I have no pain at all.
Sadhu, very good.
And in between, I try to check how is my body posture. Because in Malaysia here, every time I want to pull my backbone, because my backbone is not really the straight one. When I sit, I will pull my backbone to the tallest that I could. And I know by doing this, I'll pull my 2个腿 tends to go up, and I always have tensions on all this. But I always remember, sit straight, sit straight. So I die will do that. Only in India, when I am so at ease for that meditation, I check my body. I say, I sit like that. It's exactly not 100% straight. It's a bit, my waist here is a bit crooked.
Don't worry.
I find that is
the natural posture. That's why what you need to understand is relax. Relax.
Then
forget about the posture straight. Try, because this is using your thought, your knowledge to do things. What you should do is, when it comes to mindfulness, you just aware, body and mind as one. So you need to relax into it. You relax into it. Then you need to straighten your back because it has slope. Then straighten it. But don't overdo it. Straighten to the extent that you become normal again. Then relax and meditate again. Then you will fall into its own natural posture that is unique to you, unique to the individual. Not necessarily everybody must be like that one. No. Everyone is different. Everybody is unique. Some people, they will sit in a very funny way, but they are very relaxed and they can meditate very well. To meditate well means not to have thought. Understand not? To be in a state of relaxation, that's like the fourth support. Then maintain awareness. When you maintain awareness, means the awareness and the breathing move as one. Or the awareness and the whatever activity your awareness is at, they become one. Like if it's at the heart area, then whether it's the vibration or the heartbeat, they will become one. Then the awareness, you just stay with the awareness. The awareness and the thing, specific phenomena awareness, they move as one without thought. You have to develop it until very stable, until your mind like completely no thought, but the awareness is there. But if you no thought and blank off, that is not the one. You no thought and the awareness is there, that is the one. Then later on, when your wisdom develop already, it becomes so different. It's like a free mind in complete relaxed inner awareness. And whatever happens, whatever arises, is aware that it stay there. Then until one day, when your direct seeing, your contemplative wisdom all become very stable, very clear, then you come to realize, think also like that, don't think also like that. Because these are what they call mundane thinking, heedless thinking, illusionary thinking. So like my wife, just now the sharing, he said, there is this Mandarin word, 幻想, illusionary thinking, understand? Heedless thinking. These are sankhara activities which are not real. They belong to the mundane world. So when you have this illusionary thinking, you need to develop the awareness, because all these are not what you think. These are 世间法, understand not? They call it the conditioned Dhamma within the conditioned world. They got no reality on. But to live life, you are required to develop the understanding that within the conditioned world they exist. These are duality that exist. But they are not real. Understand? They are impermanent. You attach and cling and grasp, you suffer. And because they are impermanent, it's not a permanent unchanging entity, it's non-self, it's anatta, empty nature, not a permanent unchanging entity. It is all dependent, originating, condition, arising, cause. So all this thinking got no meaning. Like empty nature or existence. Think also like that, don't think also like that. And then when your wisdom becomes so clear, like all the chanting Rupang, Anichang, Vedana, Anichang, all these words become very clear, you know. You can understand it very deeply, you know. And then that time, as you meditate with the true mind, the silent mind, the cessation will come. The cessation will come. Nibbana experience. Initially, it may be a glimpse. Then suddenly your mind becomes like very quiet, very still. Then even the pure awareness also no more. But initially, it's just a glimpse. Then it comes back. Then as you progress and become more and more stable, then this cessation can actually go into more stable, longer period. Then after that, on its own, it will come back on. That one is not blank now. That one, the pure awareness also ceases to be. So when the pure awareness ceases to be, you know, because that free mind, that whatever awareness nature, it is just aware. Then that one ceases. Then before it ceases, you will know the awareness is so clear. The brain there, everything, no activity, no movement, nothing. Then all the other part of the body also, no activity, nothing. They call it a cessation of form and mind. Everything starts to cease. Then when it ceases, only the guy, he or she who go through that can understand. Because if you don't go through, no word can describe, but there is no word involved. The one who go through, they will know the transformation. Then after that, how you come out of it, how that nature manifests again, then how the form and mind actually come back into activity, how it actually come back. So all this, you will start to understand. Then you see the paticca samuppada, the link, how you actually become a human being again, the form and mind, how it manifests again, how the 12 links start all over again, how the activity, the thinking, the thought process, the dependent origination, paticca samuppada, avijja paccaya, all these things become very clear to you. Because from that nature come out, there was no movement. Then the movement start to appear. I remember at that time, the sense data come in first. The sense data come in, my nature can feel, you know, no word, nothing. Then how it make contact, how the brain there, how it start the activity, and initially it's very slow. Then slowly, you like merge back into reality. Then you become normal again. Then you go back to normal awareness. And means your nature has actually released everything and come back to normal awareness again. And then you become a human being again. You animate back into a human being. But after that, you already have the wisdom and you know what this thing is. Your view, your understanding, all very different already. Then no need to read book or wait for people to tell you or share anything. On your own, that form a mind that has realized itself, understand everything. Then all the Dhamma words become very clear to you. All the teaching like become very clear. But from that nature, it arises. That's why you will understand. Okay? So have faith, relax. Then don't force it until you say straighten until the leg also tiao here, not natural already.
10 years, Bro Teo.
Yeah.
I only to India I come one and know that should be the
relax and natural posture. At least you got sawak lah, not so bad lah.
Bro Teo, that 1 hour I also aware middle of it that there are a lot of, I will still use the term noise. It's
noise. No problem.
But I know they don't bother.
Doesn't affect you because that awareness that is aware, it's not affected. You have gone in quite calm, quite deep already. The mindfulness has gone in quite deep. Then that stability of it during that time when you meditate. So once you go through that, you will have faith. You will have confidence. Then you will continue to develop the meditation. Then you will understand why I say don't try to know. Because through memory, you try to know and try to repeat it, gone already. The thought will come in already. That's why the thought must not interfere. You just relax, maintain awareness, and let things be. Then the awareness and that thing move as one. You have to do it. It's just like playing game or whatever. You cannot like overnight expect yourself to be very graceful, very skillful. Cannot. That one comes with training. One. You train until it become a part of you. Then without word, spontaneously the movement is there, the stroke is there. So Anapanasati also same, mindfulness. Until mind enters sati. When mind enters sati, when you come out of it, everything your mind do is in sati. The specific phenomenon. It means the awareness and the sati is one. Then you realize everything you do is like, how come now everything is connected to my awareness? Last time is the thought actively trying to be mindful. Cannot. So your meditation also say when you are a Bugaya, when you went into that state, is like you know within you that Anapanasati, like the Buddha said, breathing in aware, breathing out aware. Without word one, your awareness will know. Because it's so soothing. When that thing happens, it's so soothing. And the whole thing is so beautiful. You will settle down and you will know this is it. Like you say, Eureka. Bingo. Bingo, you use the word bingo, sorry, not Eureka. So anyway, it's good. Sadhu to you, rejoice. Very good. Continue. Yeah.
It's only the whole India trip. 3 weeks is only this meditation that
Bugaya, good enough.
First time in
don't
Bugaya.
Be greedy. But that is the place where the Buddha got enlightened. So if you have the faith, more things will happen.
Actually, a few days later, I actually got a chance to go inside the real temple, sit in front of the Buddha, but all these things doesn't happen.
Sure, because your expectation of the experience to be repeated is the thought. When you are with the thought, you cannot be aware one. You can only be aware when you don't expect it. Then you just have the faith and sincerely go in and let things unfold. That is what nature is. Like my wife realized, we are part of nature. Don't think that you are special. You are an entity or what. No, that is the form of mind. The form of mind is not your true nature. Our nature is actually part of the source that come out. And from there, everything else manifests. Then awareness is to understand all this creation process, like the 4-stage cycle. From the source, the first thing to come out is a pure awareness. From there, you meditate. Then you see the mundane mind is very close to it. From there, how it creates thinking, emotion, thought process, sankhara activity, stirring of mind, reaction. Everything, all the movement is within the mundane mind. Then the mundane mind created the phenomenal world of consciousness. The seeing, the hearing, the smell. Then we get entangled because we don't know. We thought this is real. This is what the conditioned world is. Conditioned Dhamma is illusionary world. Illusionary world is a world of illusion, not real. But you think it's real. That's why you keep meaning. Oh, I saw that thing. Then you crave, you cling, you chase after it. Then you give meaning. Then you say, wow, life is so interesting. There is this, there is that. Like in Hokkien they say, everything like very real. So you keep on chasing. want to be successful, want to be wealthy, want to have good life. So who is doing all this? The thought, actively competing, fighting, chasing, and doing all this without realizing that towards the end, this physical body goes the way of nature. Understand? All the conditions that supported you, they will go through old age, sickness, and death. So finally, at the moment of death, separation of consciousness from the form, your entity erased. Everything you build up and like own, overnight disappear within that moment. Understand? It's an illusion. He know you, he know me. If you yourself is dependent originating, how can you own anything? When the entity is erased, everything is gone. It's like I said, the only reality is within the moment. Present moment. Past is already gone. Dead and gone, no more reality. Future yet to come also. That moment is the only reality. But how stable is that moment? Split second is dead and gone. Split second is dead and gone. And it keep on arising and passing away. And that is the only reality. So how real can life be? Not what you think. When you see this happening, you realize that form and mind is not what you are. Although this phenomena lasts longer, then you will have to finally meditate until you realize the conditioned world has its conditioned Dhamma. It governs its own conditioned Dhamma. I mean, this form and mind is subject to karma. You have to take care of karma. That's it. No reality. Where everything else is within the conditioned Dhamma. Then when you understand that, this one has its duty. That's why you will know how to devote the understanding to do your duty and not to ignore everything. Because otherwise you entangle with karma, you come back, you kena left and right. But when you understand this already, then you understand the conditioned Dhamma, the conditioned world's reality. Then you won't be deceived by it, deluded by it. Then you can live based on that understanding. Live means knowing that the form and mind is not you. Understand? It's just a vehicle and a tool, karmically conditioned out for you to come. That's why you can live the third phase of Dhamma, like my wife said, 真空妙有. True emptiness is wonderful. That is the living part. And the living part, although unreal, there is such a thing as life, understand? Existence. That's why since 1989 until now, this phase of Dhamma Pativeda is the most beautiful. I get to experience and realize all this and live it. You can live life to the fullest. You can realize the pristine beauty and wonders of life, moment to moment. Everything is so pristine, so beautiful, so wonderful. So all these are possible when you have the understanding. But when you don't have the understanding, you keep on getting yourself entangled. Because you use a thought. The Buddha say, anicca ma. You attach, suffer ma. Do you understand? This one is using knowledge, using thought. You cannot understand Dhamma that way. But these are conditioned Dhamma. Conditioned Dhamma within the conditioned world has the universal characteristic. But in the unconditioned, there is no such thing. Then if there is no such thing, then why are you going to worry about all this? Worry about your physical body going through old age, sickness and death, thinking that you have a problem. Like the Buddha, when he left the palace, he saw the four signs, he wants to understand and go beyond. He can't. Until finally, when he developed the enlightenment, realized that the form and mind was not him. Then only old age, sickness and death is not his problem anymore. Because that one pertains to the physical body, not him. He never get old, he never get sick, he never get die. Because the eternal nature, unborn. Whatever that is not born, never die. It's the deathless element. And that one is not a being. It cannot come out and live life. So don't be deluded. That one also anatta, not self. So just understand that there is a nature that has this ability to understand, penetrate, awaken, straighten your view and enable you to understand life and live life. That is what the Buddha's teaching is all about. That when you understand life and live life, you will not have problem with life. It's not to say you become magical, you become somebody very fantastic. No, that form of mind was never you. But your nature remains. Yes, that one is true. Through the perfection. That spiritual nature, that karmic nature. And these two are very unique. If you cultivate them beautifully, correctly, whenever you come, you can have the good life, the understanding. And this is the uniqueness of the Buddha Dharma, to understand the secret of life. With that understanding, you know how to live life. That is what life is all about. Otherwise, no meaning. Like some of them use knowledge to comment. Hey, Buddha say, anatta la, non-self la, nobody enlightened la, you cultivate for what? I mean, that type of logic also can happen. Oh, then they say, hey, everything not real. Why you hold on to them? These are all using thought, knowledge. This is not profound, unconditioned Dhamma. Unconditioned Dhamma, through the direct seeing, you awaken, then you realize within the unconditioned, all this within the conditioned world's conditioned Dhamma doesn't exist. Like the Heart Sutta said, in true emptiness, 生老病死, Four Noble Truths, all don't exist. So you have to understand the conditioned Dhamma and the unconditioned. They are two different sets of Dhamma. But you need to understand both to develop the wisdom to exist and live within the conditioned world. Okay? So I think we should end. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we should thank all those who give us the condition to have all this beautiful sharing. Let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, now we will share merit, transfer merits, then we will end. Akasata cha pumata deva naga mahindika punyang tang anumoditwa cirang rakantu loka sasana etta vata camehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo devo satu kalina sasa sampati hetu cha Vito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamina mame bala samagamo sattang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully the Lord Buddha, Guanyin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we will end the whole Dhamma sharing. Sadhu.